Hello and welcome to another edition of Conspirator Brock's Pull List. This is my pull list for the week of November 6th, 2019. Decent sized week this week, so let's get into it. First up, we have Batman 82. This starts the this continues City of Bane, but this is also when DC is putting out the acetate covers. So I'll show you a preview here. So basically, here's your basic cover. It's really difficult to say this is a Batman. It says Batman right here in the corner, and then the issue numbers up here. But if you open it up from the acetate to get the picture, and then the reveal, so it will say the title inside. So just be wary of that when you're getting the acetate covers. Tom King's Batman is amazing. Can't wait to read it. You need to read Batman from Tom King. It's great. Next up, we have Batman Universe number 5. This is from Brian Michael Bendis, telling a Batman story of as he's chasing down this Fabergé egg thing across time and space and all that stuff. So, I've enjoyed the story so far. It's Bendis. It's a Batman story, so it hasn't been that bad. It was originally in the Walmart giant size that came out about a few years ago. So they're finally collecting those, and then they're going to be probably release the story in trade. So if you don't want to pick up the single issues, then wait for that trade to come out. I think issue 6 is the last one, so we'll see. Next up is the last issue of Berserker Unbound number 4, Jeff Lemire's basically Conan book. It hasn't really done much. The whole premise I kind of was going to get behind, but it's really slow burn, so I don't know if it's going to have another miniseries come out or if this is going to continue. I have no idea. It's Jeff Lemire, so it's not that bad. The art's amazing on it, but again, it didn't really go anywhere. Next up is a book that has not been released since September 19th, 2018. It's been that long, so over a year, and this book hasn't been released, and that's Death or Glory number 6 by Rick Remender. This is the variant cover for Death or Glory number 6. I prefer this cover versus the regular cover, so that's the one I snagged up. Death or Glory is back. The book has had numerous cancellations over this past year plus, so it's cool to finally see the book come out. I thought it was only going to be a mini, but apparently it's maybe a 2-volume thing. I have no idea. So we'll see if we make it to 10 issues. We'll see if we make it to 12. Who knows? Next up is The Dreaming number 15. And this officially is the end of the Vertigo thing for these books. If you see here, Black Label is now on there instead of the Vertigo label. So The Dreaming is now shifted into Black Label. It'll always be Vertigo to me. I've enjoyed The Dreaming. It's been good. So if you like the Sandman universe, pick up The Dreaming. Next up is the next acetate cover from DC, and that's Harley Quinn number 67. Basically, I'll give you a nice little thing here. So, woohoo, bam. So that's the acetate cover there. So it covers it up, and then boom. The back actually is pretty cool with what they did for the acetate. So it's like the Batman Damned, and then they have the ad, and then so that was a cool way to do the other side. It's Harley Quinn. They're apparently doing a vote for the best villain thing at DC. It's going to be announced in one of the Harley Quinn issues coming up. I don't remember which one. Head on over to the internet and look that up and find it out. If I get a chance, I'll post a link in the description below for you to vote on the DC supervillain that will be revealed in one of the upcoming Harley book. Next up is a book that I had to actually look inside to see what the title of was. So it's not Ear of the Villain. It's not King Shazam. It's The Infected King Shazam number 1. So it's this little part here, The Infected. So the official name is The Infected King Shazam number 1. I've liked the Ear of the Villain one-shots. I'm curious about this Infected one-shot, so we'll see where it goes. DC's been doing at least in my opinion, a fair job with giving us just one-shots to kind of capture the essence of this, whatever event thing that's been going on. And so Year of the Villain has had Black Mask, Joker, Shazam, Black Adam, and I'm trying to think if I'm forgetting one. But they've been really, really great one-shot. Oh, Riddler. Really great one-shots. So I highly recommend checking those out. They're really cool. I've enjoyed them, and basically it's a nice kind of get you a little bit of a taste of what's to come with Year of Villain. So next up, we have the next DC acetate cover, and that is for Justice League 35. It's up here, right here. It says Justice League. I'll zoom it for you. Justice League 35. But the reason why it's so difficult to understand that, it's not the Legion of Doom. So the acetate cover reveals what it is with Perpetua there. What's funny is we put them on the shelf, and we can only put like 6 on the shelf. But with the acetate cover, you can't really see anything, but we had to bag and board it. So when you bag and board it, you actually see the Doom logo fade or show through. Yeah, so it's definitely one of those ones. They're definitely poofy covers, so be aware. Justice League, by the way, fantastic, great. If you have not been reading Justice League, it's one of the pinnacle books to read going into Year of the Villain. So go back and snap. And I mean, to really understand No Justice, you'd have to go back to Scott Snyder's Metal, but you don't need to. A good starting point is for Justice League. Scott Snyder's Justice League is No Justice. Start there, go forward, and then that will kind of lead you into it. I really enjoy Scott Snyder's stuff, so I would definitely recommend it. But, and it's not biased. His stuff's really great. Next up is the last issue in this series, and that's Killers #5 from Valiant. This book has been interesting. It's been diving into kind of the different ninja letter characters that have popped up in the Valiant universe, as well as kind of just assassins in general and what's going on. I don't really recall what's going in the book or on in the book, but it's not something horrible to read. So yeah, who knows? Next up is a new #1 from DC. And if you get it, you'll also get something else, which I'll show you right after. And that is from Brian Michael Bendis. We are getting Legion of Superheroes #1. I'm super excited for this book. I love Legion's just one of those fun books. The amount of Legion I've read is probably minuscule compared to most people, because there's so much Legion stuff leading up to, from the Silver Age and stuff like that. I haven't really touched, but the Legion stuff I have read, I've really enjoyed. So I'm hoping this Legion series is good and kicks off. The 2-part Millennium, Legion of Superheroes Millennium, was really, really good. I highly recommend you go pick those 2 issues up, and kind of it'll give you a prequel to this stuff, and definitely interesting take on what's going on with a certain character in the DC universe. So if your store doesn't have those, we have plenty at Comics Conspiracy. So head over to comicsconspiracy.biz, and you can pick up a copy of issue 1 and 2 of Legion Millennium, and we may even have some extra ones, Legion #1s lying around, so you can snag that up as well. If your store is cool, like our store is cool, basically today, if you buy an issue of Legion, we are, or at least for the in-store customers, we're giving away one of the new Legion flight rings. Let's get to your boom. No, zoom in on that. Yeah, there you go. The Legion flight ring. The thing with this one is the older version had a slice in the middle, or back here, so you could actually expand on the finger. But this one you kind of have to pick which finger you want to put it on. So I'm going to do it right there. So yeah, it's a Legion ring. Bam. So pick up your Legion ring. Some stores may be selling them, so you can also grab yours there as well. But definitely pick up a Legion ring. No, it won't allow you to fly. Next up, we have Livewire #12. I've liked Livewire. It's been a really good series. I'm curious to see where it goes. I know it's probably just going to lead into the next Harbinger book, or the next, something spawning out of it. But again, I kind of like Valiant's continuity, and how it's, some of it is good with the jumping of series, but they still don't have kind of a core series down. And I think that's one of the things that's lacking in the Valiant as a publisher. That's where Valiant lacks, is having that core, 1 or 2 core books that keep going and hold the line, but they keep doing mini-series and series that eventually will get canceled. So I've enjoyed Valiant, but again, I understand why it's hard for people to want to jump in to Valiant. So next up is Lois Lane #5 of 12. I'm super loving Greg Rucka's Lois Lane. This book has been fantastic, phenomenal. I can't wait to see where it goes. Leviathan has almost been revealed, so I think the book will take a turn at some point soon, so we shall see on that. But yeah, definitely something that if you haven't checked out Lois Lane, you need to. Next up is a book that was gone for a while. We got an issue last month, and look, we got another issue. And that's Manifest Destiny number 38. I've really loved this book from the beginning. I should seriously send in a letter and see if I can get it published in the back of one of future issues. I don't know how many more issues of Manifest Destiny we're going to get, if it's just one more story arc or if we're going to have numerous story arcs after this, so we'll see. But I've really enjoyed Manifest Destiny, even with like the delays in scheduling. The creators have said, yes, we are delayed, but we're delayed because we want to make it, we want to have something finished and not you waiting for months and months and months in between issues. So, who knows? Next up is one for my daughter, and that's Marvel Action, Captain Marvel, number 3. Nowhere on the front cover does it say IDW. This is published by IDW, not published by Marvel. It just has the Marvel logo on it. So my daughter likes Captain Marvel, so hopefully she will enjoy reading that once she decides to read it. Next up is a fun little, a fun giant book from DC, and that is the Teen Titans Go Giant. My kids love this show, Teen Titans Go. They don't watch it religiously, but they love watching it when it's on. And I like it. It's really great. The comic books have been okay, more aimed at kids necessarily than adults, but there is adult humor in it. There's 2 new stories in the Giant, so if you like Teen Titans Go, snag it up for that. But they do have some old stories in there that they've previously published. If you have not yet checked out Teen Titans Go, the comic, grab this. It's $5. It's 100 pages worth of content. Really great deal. Next up is a new number 1 that I'm super, super excited for. And that is Undiscovered Country, number 1 by by Scott Snyder and Charles Soule, with art by Kamikoli. Really, really great first issue. I read it before I got to record. And the basic premise is that the United States walled themselves off and shut the world out 30 years ago, and now they're opening up they're opening up their borders to invite some people in, and we'll see what happens and what the United States has turned into. It's a lot of info dump in this issue, so it's not necessarily the traditional sense of a first issue, so please be aware of that. But man, the amount of potential in this book is fantastic. I cannot wait to see what Snyder and Soule have in store for us. The first issue, I read it. It was great. Check it out. There are some variants, which I'll get to in a minute, but definitely pick up Undiscovered Country this week. It's one of I definitely highly recommend it. I'm super excited for it, and it's also already been picked up to potentially become a TV show. So yeah. Next up is a Wonder Twins number 9. Wonder Twins has been okay. I think they extended this to 12 issues. So we'll see where it goes from there. Russell's been writing it. His Flintstones was amazing. Stuff since has not been the best, in my opinion. It hasn't hit that pinnacle. I've been enjoying Second Coming, though. That one is funny from Ahoy Comics. But yeah, we'll see. Next up is Young Justice number 10. Brian Michael Bendis is bringing Naomi into Young Justice with this issue. I've enjoyed Young Justice. Is really cool. It's not necessarily a team that I get behind a lot of the times, but yeah, it's definitely something that you should be at least aware of. Next up is my variants, but there's one book I want to let you guys know about. So apparently the Dollar Comics Batman 497. If you got a copy of this, make sure to go back to your local comic store and return it. They should be getting the new copies this week. Basically, there was a misprint in the original. It has the pages out of order when Bane breaks Batman's back. So yeah, so it's not necessarily, it doesn't really work out so well. I mean, Batman's back is still broken, but it's not the order it's supposed to be in. This has the correct order in it. So yeah, so if you pick this up at your local shop, take it back. They should have gotten replacement copies for you. So yeah, and then you can do whatever you want with the other one, throw it away, turn it into kindling. I don't know. But public service announcements for those of you out there. So I did pick up some variants this week. First one was the variant for a Batman 82. Even though it's the cardstock variant, I've been getting most of the Batman variants as long as they're not Tim Sale ones or John. Well, I unfortunately got John Romita Jr.'s. But yeah, so I grabbed that one as well. I'm not a big fan of the cardstock. They're not seeming to get rid of it anytime soon. The last preview still has cardstock variants in it, and man, I see that cardstock, and unless it's a title I've been constantly getting the variant, or I mean, even then, I'm like, no, I drop it. I don't want it. So yeah, that $4.99 price point just for a different cover, I don't think is the best way to go. Next up is the variant for Harley Quinn at number 67. It's November. It's Thanksgiving. So Bud and Lou and Harley are having a nice feast in that Frank Cho cover there. So I grabbed that one. Legion of Superheroes had a handful of covers. There's this one here. Picked up this one. That's cover 2. This is cover 4 or 3, I believe, for the blank cover. There is a cover 4, but I don't know what it is because we skipped from 4 to 5 with this one here. So, yeah, there's a decent amount of Legion covers for number 1. Be on the lookout for those. Undiscovered Country is the next one, and it has a Jacques cover, which I thought was amazing there. So I snagged that one up. That's the regular B cover. And then Comics Conspiracy, we actually did a store exclusive cover for Undiscovered Country number 1 by Raphael Albuquerque, the artist that worked on American Vampire with Scott Snyder. So yeah, and it's really awesome cover. So you can pick this up at comicsconspiracy.biz. Head on over and we have these for sale. But not only do we have the regular cover, we have the Virgin variant as well. So you can buy either individually or you can order them as a set. But yeah, really cool stuff. I snagged my copies because I like getting our store exclusive covers. Wonder why. But yeah, really awesome with just the wall and the scope. Yeah, really knocked it out of the park. So it's great when you get a store exclusive cover you can get behind and enjoy. I do have a couple books on the reading list this week. The first one is New Mutants number 1 by Hickman and Breeson. Hickman is mainly kind of writing it with Breeson, and then Breeson's going to take over. Bryson's going to take over. So I'm curious to see what we have in store for New Mutants. And then, of course, we have X-Force number 1 written by Benjamin Piercy as well. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. I like Benjamin Piercy's writing over at DC with Green Arrow. So yeah, so those are my reads. I did read Excalibur and Marauders and X-Men so far. Is that it? Am I missing one? I don't know. No, it's X-Men number 1, Marauders, Excalibur, and then we have New Mutants and X-Force. We have not gotten the Fallen Angels book yet. But Marauders, that's not going to last. It's going to be a mini. There's too many inconsistencies in it, and it's not really meant to have like legs. And the premise is kind of The next one is Excalibur, which is more of like the magic X-Men or the magical X-Men, but it didn't really grab me. Not necessarily because it's not good, but it didn't really make me feel invested in Captain Britain or Psylocke or any of the kind of magic stuff that happens with some of those characters. So yeah, so I'm hopeful New Mutants and X-Force kind of hit that mark and are as good as the X-Men book, but who knows? The Dawn of X stuff, we'll see what comes out of it. So that's it for this week. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. You can also listen to me on the Comics Conspiracy podcast. We just finished recording episode 426. There's a link in the description below for that. We answer a bunch of listener questions. We go over some random comic book movie news and other things. So check that out. You can also help me and my fellow conspirators out through Patreon at www.patreon.com/comicsconspiracy. For as little as $1 a month, you help us with hosting fees, getting food sometimes, and of course, helping us get product. So thank you very much to our Patreon backers. It is much appreciated. And yeah, it's real simple to be a Patreon backer. And you get some exclusives like asking us questions that we'll answer on the podcast. And hopefully we get some more content up there for the Patreon people. But yeah, You can follow me on Twitter. My handle's @BrockSager. If you want to kind of support me a little more directly, any of the links here or on conspiratorbrock.com that go to Amazon, you click on those, you buy something, that gives me a little cut. You can also head on over to my eBay page. There's a link in the description below for that. I'm constantly purging out the collection, and so there might be something that catches your eye. So anybody who's bought through the Amazon or bought something eBay, thank you very much. Excuse me. It's much appreciated. Yes, I know I need to get sleep. Sleep is one of those things that's tricky to do sometimes when you have 2 kids and you're a single father, but hey, it happens, and maybe I'll catch up on it when I'm dead, is what they say. So, yeah, everything else is just scraping by. It's going to be a little rough for the next few months, but I should be able to get through it. Positivity, right? That wins out all the time. So, that's it for this week. Yeah, I'll see you. Guess what? Next week.